Season 19 brought with it 2 new Veist Stinger weapons, a scout that I can't pronounce, and the first aggressive frame linear fusion rifle that has Veist Stinger on it, to fire and forget. I already covered this weapon in a video, but the general takeaway is that it's okay if you don't have a God rolled Reed's Regret and you need a stasis weapon. Other than that, you shouldn't really chase it. It does have a unique 27% chance to proc Veist Stinger though, which is significantly higher than normal linear fusion rifles. If you want to hear more about that weapon, you can check out the video later. For now, we have 2 other things to talk about. Firstly, I wanted to test the new mod, Sharpshooting, which states greatly increases the duration and effectiveness of the Tech's Balanced Stock Origin trait and the Veist Stinger Origin trait. Keywords here would be greatly increases duration and effectiveness. Sounds pretty useful at first glance, doesn't it? Well, it should say this mod is a disappointing waste of time. Please don't test me in a Cabal cave. Just to get it out of the way, like I mentioned, there's a new scout. It has a 5% chance to proc Veist Stinger. Like I said in my last Veist Stinger test video, I'll try out any new archetypes as they come out. But now, let's get to the mod. The first thing I wanted to test was the cooldown. If you watched my last video on Veist Stinger, you'll know this perk has a 4-second cooldown before it can proc again. I went back to my Cabal cave and shot this guy's shield for longer than I want to admit. I couldn't get the perk to proc any earlier than I could without the mod. I even tried it with the scout rifle to see if the slightly higher proc chance might make it show up better. Still nothing, so I think it's safe to say the mod has no effect on the cooldown. Next, I want to check if the proc rate is increased. I'm not entirely sure how to write down this conclusion, but I'll provide the data as well as what I think is happening, but you can decide for yourself. First, since I was already using Funnel Web, I went ahead and tested its proc chance with this mod. So previously I determined that the chance was 2%. After firing 1620 rounds and it only proccing 36 times, I think it was safe to say I shot enough times. Each time I waited for the cooldown to disappear to ensure I was getting the correct rate. This gives us a 2.2% proc chance. But it's so close that I'm not sure we can even call that an increase or a good luck. Since testing this out with a low proc rate was a dumb idea, I went ahead and tested the Taipan, which has a higher chance, therefore it should show better. After about 379 shots, or 10 rally flags, with only 43 procs, I decided to call it. That's an 11% chance to proc versus our normal 10% chance. Hard to say for sure, but it's starting to look like every weapon was going to have a 1.1 times modifier on its original proc chance. Quickly I tested the scout since I already had it on. It went from a 5% chance to a 5.5% chance to proc, with me firing it 619 times and getting 35 procs. All of this seemed pretty lackluster, but the thought of a 10% buff to fire and forget's 27.1% chance to proc sounded nice, so I went ahead and tested that. I only fired 144 times, but that's really the same thing as firing 432 times with this weapon. With that, we reached 36 procs for a 25% proc chance. Not quite the expected 29% chance, and it makes me think that there isn't really a 1.1 multiplier, but just me getting lucky 3 times. Because if it did exist, it would show up on the highest proccing weapon the most, and it didn't. Even if it is a 1.1 times multiplier, that's so minuscule that it's useless. It was so bad that I decided to check the only other possible buff this mod can give, which is a movement speed buff. That's right, there's another part of the Veist Stinger that nobody talks about. I don't even know if people know about it. Veist Stinger increases your ADS movement speed. You still don't really need to know about this though, because I tried it with and without Veist Stinger on, with and without the mod on. I could not tell the difference between modded or not. All in all, this mod is at best doing barely anything and not worth 3 energy. Or at worst, it really is doing nothing. Either way, do not use this mod. It's a waste on Veist weapons. I'm hoping it's bugged because I really was looking forward to using it on the new aggressive frame fire and forget. But for now, it's just going to be staying at the 27% proc chance. If you'd like to see more about that weapon in particular, I'll throw a video on screen for you. If not, then thank you for watching. Until next time, see you out there.